The College Basketball Experience Coaches Tour edition for the head coach of McNeese State, Will Wade edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Use our sign-up promo code TCESGPN to score up to $1,000 bonus in cash. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM today. Welcome, everybody, into the College Basketball Experience Preseason Coaches Tour. And, we head to the South, baby. We're headed back to the Southland. Go check out our Southland Conference preview. Go check out our McNeese State schedule release earlier in the week. And I teased it out on those episodes that maybe a guy that knows McNeese better than anybody, well, he'll be joining the show here shortly. Coach Will Wade of the McNeese Cowboys. But first off, I am Moneyline Mac, a.k.a. the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Also known as Mac Tonight over here at the College Experience. The season is upon us, man. We were 5 conference previews down. We're less than 7 weeks, 48 days. Tweeted out today that we're less than 100 days from conference games across the board. The season is getting here. I know we got football, and I love football as much as anybody, but college basketball is on the horizon. Go check out all our conference previews, and later tonight, it's a full lineup here, by the way, on the College Experience. Colby and I will be right after this doing our bracketology show for college football, followed by Noah Beanick and I breaking down the Ohio Valley Conference preview, and then we'll dive into a little Woj bomb with him returning home, retiring. I guess retiring is the right word, from ESPN and joining the Bonnies as the general manager. We got you covered here over at the College Experience. I'll tell you who else has got you covered. Well, that's the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, because the war against corporate gambling is heating up, and SGPN needs you to do your part. All you got to do is rate and review the College Experience, and most importantly, tell a friend. Word of mouth is the heartbeat of SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Use our sign-up code right above my head, baby, TCESGPN. We're going to be giving out our Big 12 play tomorrow for the Big 12 upcoming games. We're also, Colby, NC Nick, Patty C, they gave out a play for the upcoming week 4 in college football. Ryan and Sean will be giving out NFL later tonight over at the Main Sports Gambling Podcast Network. But all you got to do, man, is use our promo code TCESGPN. What are you doing? And you can claim your special pick and first-time deposit. Offer up to $1,000 bonus in cash. That is the Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. We are back over here at the College Basketball Experience. I've teased it out enough. I've been teasing out this interview for the entire week. Let's introduce the head coach of the 30-win McNeese Cowboys last year, head coach Will Wade. And we continue our preseason coaches tour on the College Basketball Experience with the head coach of the McNeese State Cowboys, Coach Will Wade. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Ryan.
I appreciate you taking the time. I know it's day 1 of boot camp. Just fill everybody in about the summer you guys had and the start of the fall semester.
Yeah, it was a good summer. You know, this was one of the years that we were up for a foreign tour, so we took our team to El Salvador in August, and it was a good trip for our guys. The players, they love the experience in El Salvador. The coaches, we love the extra practice that you get before you go. So I felt like it was the right time to take the trip. We were up for a trip. We have 7 returners and 6 newcomers. I thought kind of blending those guys together and gelling those guys together, this was the right time to this was the right time to do that. So it was a good trip. We had a good summer, good practices. And then we gave our guys some time off when we got back in the fall here. We've done a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks worth of practice and workouts. And then, we're into our boot camp, which is our conditioning test that all of our teams have to pass. Today was day 1. We do it for 3 days, and you got to make up any day that you don't pass. So, we had 7 guys pass it this morning. We had 6 guys not. And so we've got a lot of makeups to do later on, but we're not where we need to be, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there in time.
Absolutely. And good friend, Sergio Rocco, I know he was there with you guys. So shout out to my guy, Poppy, Coach Rocco, for setting you guys up in El Salvador. He's one of a kind.
If you get a chance to go down there, he's coaching the national team. It's nothing like what you would expect. It was, I was joking with our staff. We were in the middle of a lake and a volcano, riding jet skis and on a boat and all this stuff. And I said, our guys don't know the difference between this and Lake Como in Italy. I mean, this, but it's beautiful. The country was great. The facility is the best facility I've ever played in on a foreign tour, in terms of games. It was their national arena. It was a huge arena. They'd had when we were there scouting it in May, they just finished Miss Universe. So, but it was a cool experience. We got to do some stuff. We did a clinic, and it was really neat.
Absolutely, Coach. And we'll talk about your current team here in a minute, but I do want to rewind. You and I do share a former past. I was a manager at WU. You were a manager at Clemson. Just talk about your early days in the coaching industry and when you knew you wanted this to be what you do for a living.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you like the Mountaineers from behind you there. But
hidden book, right?
That's right. But, look, I never intended to be a college coach. My degree's in secondary education, history, and geography. I was, student taught. I was going to be a high school history teacher, coach a little basketball, do some things like that. But I never really, Coach Purnell, who I work for at Clemson, is like, hey, man, if you're going to be a teacher, you're not going to make a lot of money. You might as well let me pay for your graduate degree so you can make a few more $1,000 a year with your graduate degree. And, I never left college except for after I got fired. I had to leave for a year. But, that was just kind of the career path that I took. And I was very fortunate. I'm one of, I think a handful of guys who didn't play college basketball, who are head coaches right now. So I'm very, very fortunate. I'm very, very lucky. And, it's been an exciting experience, to say the least.
Absolutely. And I do need to sneak a VCU question in there. You work for Shaka Smart.
Yep.
And that staff, how like everybody watches like the Redskins, where they got the Mike Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, all the former guys that were on the same staff. Well, your guys' staff at the time, you, Mike Rhodes, Mike Jones, Mike Morrell, everybody went on to now run their own.
It's deeper than that. Donnie Lind was our video coordinator. He's the head coach at Mount St. Mary's.
Yes.
In the Max. I mean, yeah, we had and Jeremy Ballard, and Jamie and Christian. Jamie's coaching overseas. He just won his pro league over there. Jeremy's at Florida International. So yeah, we had a lot of good coaches. We were very fortunate to work for Shaka. Obviously, we had some success. Shaka went to the Final Four, and all these ADs thought we could replicate it. They figured out we couldn't quite replicate it, but for whatever reason, they've kept hiring us. So they all hired us thinking we could, we could do what we did at VCU. But hey, it worked out well for all of us. But it's just like you tell your players, man, if you win, everybody benefits. The more you win, everybody benefits. And our point guard on that team, Joey Rodriguez, he's an assistant with Jeremy down at Florida International, and Bradford Burgess is back at VCU. Darius Theus is back at VCU. Jamie Skeens doing some coaching down in the Charlotte. So a lot of those guys have Ed Nixon still in Richmond. So a lot of those guys have been very, very successful because of that run, and we were fortunate to be a part of it.
And Coach, you finally get your crack. You get it at Chattanooga in 2013. You go back to VCU, then you go to LSU. Just talk about the different stops along the way before you get to McNeese State and what you learned from each and every one of those stops. Yeah,
I mean, McNeese is most similar to Chattanooga. And so, I was fortunate to have those 2 years at Chattanooga. It was a great job. I had a great AD, great administration. Very, very fortunate to get hired. They actually hired me. The 2 finalists were me and Dennis Felton. And for whatever reason, David Blackburn, who's now at East Tennessee State, but tremendous AD, and very, very appreciative of him for giving me the opportunity. And then I replaced Shaka at VCU. I don't think anybody else wanted to replace him, so I was the only one dumb enough to step into that chair. And we had a couple solid years at VCU. Phenomenal place, really set up to win. And the AD there, Ed McLaughlin, he's still there. Really supportive of basketball and very forward thinking and wanting to win in basketball. So that was great. Then I went to LSU, and it was a chance to go to the SEC. You look back on things, and I loved my time at LSU. I loved every day till the day they fired me. And so it was a fun experience. It was a roller coaster. There was a lot of controversy. There's a lot of things going on while we were there. And, but look, it was a great experience. Just connecting with the fans and the people there was a lot of fun. And so, after you're fired, I was out for a year. I did some consulting work, worked in the NBA, and then, McNeese, and I was fortunate enough that Heath would hire me, and our president, Dr. Roos, and Dr. Burkell, that they took a chance. And it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. And we're excited about what we did last year, and building on that, and propelling ourselves into an even better year this year.
And Coach, I want to ask you a question about the year you took off. What was some of the biggest things you learned just in your time, kind of just taking a step back before you take back over the McNeese State program?
Well, I got to go around and see how a bunch of other people did things. I got to see how other programs functioned. I got to see how, I picked up some different ideas. I picked up different concepts, some NBA things. I was just able to, as a coach, you're so locked in on what you're doing. You don't get a lot of time to go around and see other folks. And so that was really, that was eye-opening to me. It was just to see a bunch of new ways to do things, see some new ways that we could tweak, what we do. And, it gives you some perspective. I'm not saying, nobody wants to get fired. Nobody wants to take a year off, but just gives you some perspective. I'll never forget. We lived in Chattanooga, Tennessee. When I was the head coach at UTC, we kept a house there. My wife loves it there, so we still have a house there. But we were in Chattanooga, and there was one Saturday. Most Saturdays I was watching games or out at games, doing some scouting stuff and intel stuff for the team I worked for. And I'll never forget, one Saturday, we lived in a popular area in Chattanooga, right on the river. And we went down to lunch at my wife's favorite Mexican restaurant. And I was looking around, and my wife's like, what's going on? I said, I'm just shocked. All these people aren't like watching college basketball. Like, what are these people doing on Twitter? Like, it just never occurs to you, like, that everybody's not interested in what you're doing on. It just gave me some perspective. Like, look, what we do is, we think it's the most important thing in the world. And it certainly is important. It can, help people and help communities and help universities. And there's a lot of positive impact you can have, but like 1% of the population actually cares. The rest of these people just move along with their, I'm sitting there thinking, like, Tennessee's playing basketball right now. And, this team's playing. And, I'm like, what are all these people doing? Shouldn't they be watching these games? And they're just sipping margaritas at the Mexican restaurant. So, it gives you a little bit of perspective as well.
Yeah, they're going to pumpkin patches and living their lives.
I went to an apple orchard one weekend. We went to some apple orchard in North Georgia. I said, I can't believe I'm doing this stuff. But hey, we went apple picking.
Absolutely. And Coach, so you get back in last year. It's no secret you guys had a hell of a year, 30-4. When did you know you had a special group? Was it when Coach Chambers? We talked about the VCU tree. Coach Chambers is on that tree as well. He started at VCU. When did you know you had a special group?
I mean, look, I was suspended the first 10 games. Coach Chambers and Coach Hamilton did a great job. They traded off games as head coach. We were 8-2 with those guys. They did a phenomenal job. I mean, look, we we had a scrimmage. Our first scrimmage, we scrimmaged another team. I don't want to talk about the team, but that team had beat us by about 30 the year before, and we beat them by like 40. And I was like, okay, we because it had been a while since I'd been at this level, and it was a like level team, that we scrimmaged. So I was like, all right, we may be, this may be pretty good. This may go pretty well. Yeah. And really, I think when we won at VCU to open the year, and I think that gave our guys like, all right, all this crazy stuff coach been doing, all this crazy stuff he says, like, this stuff might actually work, and we can work with this and make this happen. And I think that our belief took off from there, and it was a good year. That and having Shahade Wells that helped quite a bit too.
that did help it.
And I'll never forget Vernon came to the night before we played UAB, because I could be with the team right up until the game.
Yes.
Or the day of the game. So I would leave at like 10 o'clock the night before the game and drive, part of the way somewhere, and then fly back or drive all the way back to Lake Charles. So we were on the elevator. We just finished eating. We were on the elevator. I was going to get the car, and Vernon was going to his room. He said, Coach, what, do you have any advice for me tomorrow? If something I said, yeah. I said, if something goes wrong, get the ball to Hade. Just don't worry about anything else. Something goes wrong, get him the ball. He ended up having about 30 that game. So having him help quite a bit. It's all about the players.
Jimmys and Joes, not X's and O's.
Right.
Coach, you're going to transition this year. I mean, you guys were the preseason favorite last year, but definitely going to be more of the hunted in the Southland. With Stephen F. coming back into the league, who's had a lot of success. They've won NCAA tournament games. Just talk about the Southland League as a whole.
The league's going to be a way better. I think we were in the low 20s last year, 26, 27. I think we'll be in the I think we'll be somewhere between 21 to 23 this year. Mm-hmm. The bottom of our league, there's some issues down there, but the top part of the league is really good. You mentioned Stephen F. coming back in. You've got Texas A&M Corpus Christi, who won the league the 2 years before and then came in second last year, tied with Nichols. You got Nichols with Tavon Sadler, who's one of the best coaches in the country. Never mind the fact he's 27 years old. Like, he's an absolute stud. We played them 3 times. He had tremendous game plans against us every time, changed up what he did, and really, really good coach, and just the total package as a coach. And he's doing that at a place with very few resources. And so he's done a good job. We've welcomed Rio Grande Valley to the league. They're a team that's got a lot of potential. They hired a new coach, very impressive resume at BYU and with offensive basketball, and he's loaded up on shooters, and they've got a bigger point guard who's really, really talented. And so Lamar plays really well. So there's good depth in the league. Actually, Southeastern was picked to win the league last year. We were picked second, and Southeastern was picked to win. And they struggled a little bit offensively, but I think they've reloaded pretty well. Also, Northwestern State may have the most talented player in the league, who had a knee injury last year, and Patterson's back for him this year. And so our league is going to be really well balanced. It's going to be quite a bit better than most people think. Now, the problem is we got teams in our league that got to play 6 to 8 bye games, and they just go get annihilated for a month. And then then we get in a league play and we don't have a great record, but they're good teams. And so, that brings us down a little bit. But I think the top, 4 or 5, I didn't even mention UIW. UIW brought in maybe 2 of the best transfers in the league, the backcourt from Ball State. They return a ton of guys, and they were really close in a lot of games last year. Shane's done a really good job at UIW. So, look, there's going to be a lot of parity, a lot of balance, a lot of good teams, and we're going to have to battle it out.
Absolutely. And let me ask you, your non-con just got released, and we did a special episode on it, and it's got some challenges. I like the way that you scheduled. Let me ask you this, though. How challenging, coming off 30 wins, was it to schedule this time around? Because some of those high majors don't like to play McNeese State in these bye games.
It was tough. I could read you some emails we got back asking for games. Look, we were trying. Our goal when we set out was to play an all Division I schedule. And we ended up having to play 3 non-1s just because we couldn't get Division Is. And we have to play some variety of home games to sell season tickets, and we actually make revenue on home games. And so, we had to have some home games. Santa Clara was the team that ended up coming here to play us. But look, it really, Mississippi State's on a neutral court, the Alabama game's on the road, the tournament in the Virgin Islands, we were fortunate to get in that.
Yeah.
The UL game's a return game, and then nobody would play South Dakota State up there. And I said, what the hell, we'll do it. Look, it's a good non-conference schedule. It'll stress us and test us as we head into conference play. And, I think it gives us some opportunities for some real quality wins and quality games. And I'm excited to get Santa Clara at home. Santa Clara will be the best team that we've played. We have an arena that's about 5 years old, be the best team we've played in our arena, numerically, top 60 program, top 70 program. They'll compete at the top of the WCC this year. We know how good that league is from Gonzaga walking the dog with us in the NCAA tournament. So it'll be a really, really tough non-conference schedule, and it'll be fun for our guys.
And Coach, let me ask you this. What makes the McNeese job such a special and unique place to work every single day?
Well, the number one thing is we've got incredible administration. Our president and AD are out of this world. I've never seen anything like it. Sometimes you get one if you're lucky, but to get two is like just beyond lucky. So we've got tremendous leadership. We've got phenomenal facilities. We have one of the best facilities. We have, one of the best facilities in the country, period. Now it's small. It seats about 5,000, but our arena is perfect for what we are. We have phenomenal community support. We're a regional institution. We serve our 5-parish area, and everybody in this 5-parish area is touched by McNeese, and the people have such a pride about the school, such a pride about this area, Lake Charles, Louisiana. And so, we have tremendous support. Even as bad as we had been before, we hadn't had a winning season in 13 years before last year. We still led the league almost all of those years in attendance. The last 5 years, we led the league in attendance, and we didn't even sniff double-digit wins some of those years, and we led the league in attendance. So we have a extremely loyal following and fan base with great administration, great facilities. Everything's here to make it happen and to win. And we were fortunate that they entrusted us to come around here and do that.
And Coach, I appreciate you taking the time to stop by. I know you're busy. You guys got boot camp to get back to. I want to leave you with one last question. A lot of new faces coming in, but you do have some familiar faces. Mr. Shoemate's back. What is your message for the McNeese State Cowboys fans headed into the 24-25 season?
Look, we're excited. We're going to be a work in progress. I think we've got a better team than we did last year. I'm not saying we're going to win as many games as we did last year. We just have a little bit more depth, a little bit more shooting, a little bit more size. We just got a little bit more of everything. Last year we were pretty thin. We were very fortunate we didn't have any injuries. We were very fortunate we didn't get in foul trouble in some games. We had very, very thin margins. But I think that we're going to be, a work in progress for a while, but we've got all the makings to be a very, very good team, and we're excited about the journey ahead.
Coach Wade, I can't wait for November 4th at the Pentagon when you go play the Jackrabbits. I can't wait for the Southland. Can't wait for McNeese. Thank you for stopping by the College Basketball Experience. Best of luck this season, and definitely look forward to having you back.
Absolutely, Ryan. I really appreciate it. Had a good time.
Thanks, Coach. Coach Wade of the McNeese Cowboys. They're going to be good again. I'll cut right to it. I'm looking forward to seeing this McNeese program in year 2 of the Will Wade era. 30-4 last year, 22-2 in the games that he coached. Coach Chambers, Brandon Chambers, was with him as well at LSU. He coached it. He was part of that staff. He coached the game against VCU, the bye game that they won. Vernon Hamilton that he mentioned as well. They got a really good program down there. They're running that thing like a high major, and we talked about that on our Southland preview. McNeese Cowboys fans, go check out that preview. Go check out our schedule release as well, breaking down your team. And can't wait for November 4th. I just saw Baylor and Gonzaga are playing opening night, but one of the most underrated games of that opening night is going to be McNeese and South Dakota State, We had Coach Henderson on of the Jackrabbits a couple weeks ago. Now we've had Will Wade on from the McNeese side of things. That's me personally. That's the game I'm looking forward to on opening night, especially with that game being in the Pentagon, one of my favorite neutral site venues. So thank you again to Coach Wade for stopping by the college basketball experience. Definitely look forward to having you back. Let's pay the bills on the way out, because over here at the College Experience, we're brought to you by BetUS. Bet the best in the business with BetUS. BetUS has been around for 30 years. Bet anywhere. BetUS is available in tons of locations, including internationally. They just launched their all-new live betting experience, easily depositable with crypto and fast payouts and all that good stuff. Looking ahead to the football weekend, let's give out something I like. Should I go homer pick and give out the Mountaineers? No, I'm not going to jinx it. I'll take the Illini Friday night. Getting the points against Nebraska. I think that's a tight game Friday night. So get on over there and use our link to sign up and get 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. Go over to sportsgamblingpockets.com/BetUS. That is the sportsgamblingpockets.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN so they know we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book today. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm, baby. Rhythm is the absolute best and proud partner of SGPN. Yeah, Rhythm killed it in week 2 of the NFL. 22.5% return on investment. Looking like me, taking all those dogs in week 2 of the NFL. So get on over there. Build your model today over there at Rhythm. Build your own model. Copy one of ours if you want, or create your own. Customize if you like offense, defense, spot, situational. It's got it all with all the stats, research, trend analysis. And you know what? I had K-State -7 last weekend via Rhythm, and that got home easily against Arizona. So claim your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right, we are back over here at the College Basketball Experience. Coach Wade just joined us. We got 2 more episodes tonight, guys. This is a quadruple header on the College Experience, triple header over here at the College Basketball Experience. I'll be joining Colby here in just a little bit. We'll go bracketology week 4. Yes, we have bracketology on college football now that we have a 12-team bracket. So get on over there, check out that. We give out our bracket through 3 weeks of the season. And join Noah Beanick in the late hours, where we will dive into the Ohio Valley and break down each and every one of those teams. And we will dive into the Woj bomb earlier today, where he goes home to the Bonnies from ESPN. Go check out all our College Experience team or conference previews. We're doing some team previews like McNeese earlier in the week. If we want to spotlight a team, we did Memphis last night. The only show in America that breaks down all 360-plus teams in the country, all 31 conferences. So you're going to want to make sure you subscribe to the College Experience, and previews every single game of the college basketball season every single night. No, we don't take Saturdays, Sundays off. Every single night, 7 days a week, there's games. The only one we take off is Christmas Day or Christmas Eve when there's no games. And we still might do a bracketology show that day. So McNeese fans, you're going to want to ride with us. We love the Cowboys. Can't wait to talk about them from November 4th all the way. Maybe they get to New Orleans, where the Final Four is this year. You never know. They got a hell of a roster coming back. Year 2 of the Will Wade era. And that's all I got. I'll see you guys on the next couple shows over here at the College Experience. Thank you to Coach Wade. Thank you to the McNeese program. Looking forward to catching you guys at a game this year. And this has been another edition of Mac Tonight, signing off over here at the College Basketball Experience. November 4th is coming at the Pentagon. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.